The Israel Air Force will be the first to operate the F-35s outside of the United States. They're having 2 aircraft, and next year they'll have another 7 aircraft, so that by the end of 2017, they are expected to declare IOC. And I wanted to ask, what is the impact? What has Israel contributed technologically or otherwise to the program writ large?
You're right, Barbara. The Golden Eagles will be the first international Air Force to declare IOC with the F-35. Along with the U.S. Air Force and the Marine Corps, they will be one of 3 international air forces that have declared IOC. And what are they declaring IOC with? They're declaring IOC with an aircraft that distinguishes itself from any other aircraft in the world through stealth and sensor fusion. Stealth, the ability for us to eliminate their ability to detect, track, and engage us, and sensor fusion, our ability, or the airplane's ability, to fuse all those sensors into a fused image for the pilot that gives him unprecedented, revolutionary situational awareness. That manifests itself on the helmet of the pilot. That's an Israeli technology. It's revolutionary, it doesn't exist anywhere else, and all Israelis should be proud of that.
Now, it's interesting that Israeli Air Force pilots have never taken to the skies in the F-35 because they've relied so heavily on the simulator. What is this new generation, this new era that they're in now, that the planes touch down in Israel and only then they're going to start to fly in the cockpit?
You're right. All of their training initially is going to be in a synthetic environment. And the fidelity of that environment is astonishing right now. So all of the Israeli pilots we've already trained for, they will go back to Israel and they will take their first flight in their airplane.
Now, Israel has 33 aircraft on order, and the government recently announced its intention to buy another 17, so that brings the force to 50. Congress has pre-approved Israel for a full 75 aircraft. What about costs? When Israel first signed the LOA back in 2010, it was a lot higher than the estimated $85 million that it is per copy these days. How did you drive the costs down? And I'm sure it hasn't been an easy, painless road.
We're focused on it every day. Affordability is a primary focus of the company right now, and the entire F-35 enterprise. In the 6 years since we delivered the first F-35, we've driven down the cost or the price of the aircraft by 57%. In the next 3 years, we'll drive out another 15% through affordability initiatives and economics. That'll put us in an $85 million aircraft that is the most capable aircraft and cheaper than any other aircraft that's available today.
Less expensive than an F-15I that Israel was also considering as a follow-on purchase.
Exactly. And if you combine that with the industrial benefits that come with participation in the program and the thousands of jobs that it creates for the life of the program, not just for the 50 aircraft that Israel's buying, but the life of the program, 40 years of production, that's value.
Well, can you talk about offsets, or what the Israelis prefer to call industrial participation?
Sure, and that's what we call it on the F-35 program. That's what we call it. I won't quantify it, but every pilot gets a Gen 3 helmet from Elbit. They fly with that helmet, and Israeli aircraft industry is building 811 outer wings for the F-35, and there's 5 other companies within Israel that are participating in the program right now. That doesn't include sustainment. That'll come later.
Well, let's talk about sustainment, because one thing that Israel has been insistent upon is that these aircraft will never leave the country. They'll be able to ship out black boxes, if you will, when the need comes, but they're a little bit different than the rest of your program partners. Can you talk about that?
Sure. The Israeli customer is very interested in security of supply. So we appreciate that requirement, and we're working with the JPO and the Israeli Air Force and the IMOD, the Ministry of Defense, to make sure that we structure a program that meets that requirement.
And because of the rare circumstances that Israel finds itself in, if missiles and rockets are starting to fly, it could be hard to get these support?
Absolutely. I mean, they live in a unique environment. Their neighborhood's unique to anyone else in the world. And we understand that. We've been partners with the Israeli Air Force for more than 50 years now, and our relationship is based on that understanding.
And as far as this F-35I squadron, which they're calling the 140th Squadron, the name in Hebrew that they've given the aircraft is Adir, which means awesome. And how important is Israel as a customer to this program? Will the eyes of the world be looking to the Israel Air Force as it starts to operate these planes near and perhaps even very far from home.
Well, obviously the geopolitical relationship between the United States and Israel is very important. It's our strategic partner in the region. The F-35 is going to bring a capability that will be the foundation of QME going forward, in my opinion. It brings a capability that is probably best discussed by the pilots that fly this airplane every day. Our pilots and our partner pilots that are flying this airplane in over training ranges, in training exercises, in exercises against advanced fourth-generation airplane are undefeated in combat with this aircraft. So that's going to bring a capability that Israeli Air Force is going to provide them a lot of flexibility.
And as we wrap up, one thing that was very important for the Israel Air Force is its ability to have its own communications and electronic warfare capabilities in this fifth-generation fighter, so that then they can link it into one common network with their fourth-generation aircraft.
Right.
Was that that wasn't a trivial matter, was it?
It was not, and it required a separate development program. They incorporated their unique C4ISR system, their Command Control Computer Information Reconnaissance System, into the F-35. It's the same system that's in their F-16, the same system that's in their C-130s, and the same system that the ground forces work. So they have an integrated network going into this program.
And I understand from day one they have assigned a fourth-generation escort squadron to make sure that this all operates as one networked unit.
Yeah. So the Golden Eagles are a very sophisticated operator. They've been on the forefront of technology and tactics for a long time. It doesn't surprise me that they've got a unique escort.